So we were there once, twice, maybe multiple times, watching online for a brand new 3D printer or maybe a part for your 3D printer. Which one should you buy? Where to look for? I'm talking about the prices. You can go for a very cheap product out of a certain country or a certain area, or you can buy the original. In this video, I'm going to look for the term open source and copyrighted material. Coming up on Zachary's 3D Prints. Hello, I'm Zachary and this channel is about 3D printing. With tips, tricks, tutorials, how to, review, news, anything 3D printing or 3D printer related you can find right here on this channel. If you're new here and not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and hit the notification button to get the latest news and updates right in your YouTube alerts. And thanks for being here. So in the background, my Ender 3 version 2 is printing, my Ender 3 Pro and the ANET ET4 are printing, so that noise you will hear because I'm preparing for a brand new video for next week, Wednesday. So if you're not subscribed yet, hey, consider subscribing. Let's get into the topic of today's video. So, like mentioned in the intro, today we are going to look to open source and also rights to copy. Well, in the few months that I was working on my channel on different kind of subjects within the 3D printing community, within the 3D printing niche, I saw happening this quite a lot. What is open source? This is a part quoted from the old 3D website. Open source is a borrowed term from the software development models, where the source code is open to anybody or anyone to review, modify, enhance, and use. Further, this philosophy is especially important for the 3D printing world because thanks to the open source RepRap community, can we enjoy this technology in our homes at every accessible prices. Further, owning an open source 3D printer has many benefits, but mainly it's a guarantee that you will always have control over it. With an open source hardware and software, your machine can keep on 3D printing regardless of what happens to the manufacturer and its supports. Any broken parts can be reproduced or replaced once the full design is open to anyone. Moreover, the 3D printer can be further enhanced by leveraging the community's problem-solving abilities. But what does it mean? Open source means that the person is opening fully their design, their model, all of it. For example, the Prusa machine. The Prusa 3D printer are open source, but also the Creality Ender 3 or the Creality CR10 or some other 3D printers from Creality. Also the Ultimaker or Lusbot. There are many printer brands open sourcing their 3D printers. Why is that? Is it okay to fully copy somebody else's machine? Like the one I have, the CTC Prusa i3 MK2. It's a clone. Why are other brands doing that? Why are they copying other people's products? Well, within the rights for open source, they are allowed to do that. But of course, if anybody will see this printer in the background, everybody knows, hey, it's a Prusa. I know for a fact it's not a Prusa. It doesn't work like a original Prusa. Well, it does 3D printing and it does work. But I still need to fine-tune that machine because it's not a Prusa. I hope next year I will buy a Prusa i3 MK3S Plus. I will get a Prusa Mini within a few weeks and I will experience the benefits of having a Prusa. Well, in the background, the Enders are printing and those two machines are printing Awesome. Those printers are also open source. If open source wasn't open, would you be able to buy a hot end and add it to one of those machines, like the BMO or the BMS kind of style 3D printer? Well, in the case of the Enders, I received a hot end from Fides and it does fit. It's open source, so it does fit on my Ender 3 machines or on my Ender 3 version 2. That makes the thing of open source way easier. When something breaks, I can go for a stock hot end from Reality. I can, when my board is fried because I switch some wires, I can buy a new stock board from Reality. But I can also go to the big 3-tech. I can buy a big 3-tech board and put it in there, because the holes are aligned with the holes from the standard casing from a Ender 3. Also, when you have a Bode style extruder, you can exchange it for a direct drive. It will all fit because of the specs of the carriage. And then we also have something like a heat bed and some other things. It will all fit because of the standards. So there are brands like E3D, Slice Engineering, Big 3-tech, Wham System, and many other that are working years for getting some products out to serve the 3D printing community, to have an existence to produce more and better stuff. Some companies are working years to get just one product out and then getting some great results. Those products are costing more than maybe a standard product. For me, a Hemera is quite expensive. When I go to certain sites, I can get a similar kind of extruder, but why should I do that? As a matter of fact, if you buy a Hemera, you support everybody who worked on the research and development of this product. You are also making sure that E3D is able to put out new and better products as well. That they have a existence to keep continuing. And there are many other brands. In the 1 year that I'm working on this channel, Zachary 3D Prints, I encountered already a few times that things are copied. Why are those companies copying things which have some rights or license for not copying it? I don't know if I say correctly, because my English is not my native language, but the basic idea is, when I make something, I put years in it to develop it and then bring it on the market, and then seeing it after a half a year that some other manufacturing is stealing it. That shouldn't be not the case. Is it open source? Did you have the rights to copy it and put it on the market for a much cheaper price? Why should a brand do that? When you have the tools, when you have the materials, why not putting some effort in it and make something brand new that wasn't done before? Here, me, I want to put a ZEC 1 cantilever arm 3D printer on the market. I don't know if it is going to sell or not. But the basic thing is, for me, it's a designing experience, it's a prototyping experience, it's a path that I want to walk to see how it is to make your own 3D printer. I don't want to say this, but I do. Something like Joseph Prusa. He started with a 3D printer design, or he wanted to do something, he made it, and look where he is now. Not that I have the same ambition as he has, but the basic thing is, I want to bring out a 3D printer. When I put some cheap parts on it, it would cost me 210 euros. If I go for genuine products, it would cost me quite a lot more. And after the things I heard in the last few days, I am willing to put genuine products on this 3D printer. From my experience, but also to support companies that put a lot of work in it, or even tears in it. Why should you copy something from another brand? Why should you do that? For better quality? No, usually not. Because when I'm looking on sites like AliExpress, Gearbest or Banggood, I can buy something like a E3D V6. Not for $60 or $80. No, it will cost me $10. For example, I did it on the clone. I don't care. But if it was an original Prusa, I wouldn't do that. Why? Why should I? I mean, that printer does work, but I put a clone on it. So when you are going to shop online and you want to support the brands, not that they can make more money, of course they will make more money, but a very large portion is going to the people who worked on it, to new research and development. Like, for example, the guys from iFactory. By using the Kickstarter as a real Kickstarter for a startup, they are able to put the money into newer products. I wasn't there in their factory, but I know I will, and I will see that in the near future. But they are going to reuse, invest this money, and I think they're also going to get back into the Kickstarter campaign as well, because it's still a startup. Those kind of brands, it's good to support, I don't say sponsor, but to support the biggest way as possible. I did that too. I wasn't able to back their Kickstarter campaign, but I pushed as much as possible content out to help iFactory 1 to get some money to get them continuing also for the year 2021. And also, when you want to make a Titan extruder or a hot end from so company or a mainboard that is almost like the original, go to the company, ask for the permission to copy it or make a similar kind of product and pay some fees for that. So when I'm going to buy a clone product, that also the company that originally made this thing will get also its fair share. So to wrap up this video, a little bit different than usual, but it was needed. Open source 3D printing is huge business within the 3D printing community. Open source should still be open source. But if brands are working years to get some products out to attach to your 3D printer, maybe it's good to sponsor those kind of brands as well. Because if those brands are not there anymore because of cloning practices from other companies, what are those companies going to do when those companies are not there anymore? And besides, are you going for the better quality or are you going for the least of the quality? This video is supported by these Patreon supporters: Tony, Shannon, Lawyer Moses and Michael. Thank you for your awesome support. You can also support this channel by checking the link in the description. Your support will help my channel also in buying some new equipment, new stuff to bring out better content for you guys to help out. If you're still watching this video, thank you. You are amazing. On the end card, there are some recommended videos worth watching. And while you are there, check out the merch in the merch store. Please like this video, subscribe to Zachary 3D Print, and hey, let's make some fun with 3D printing. Zachary 3D Prints. Bye bye.